Satan's Fall. It's not only a Merciful Fate song, but also a Finnish heavy metal band. Now obviously these two can be linked a little bit in people's mind anyway. But it's a whole different story what goes in people's mind than what goes inside the band guys' minds. This one is Final Day and it's the debut album by the Finnish heavy metal band. This is nicely packaged in a kind of a cardboard sleeve. And obviously you will find the very same image underneath this one. A high roller release, usually doing a quite nice job with heavy metal bands, is behind of all this obviously. And what can be said? The band has been out there for a few years, but they had the patience and the understanding to wait a little bit, do demos, you know, EP and all that stuff before going to do a full-length album. Because after all, that's a typical mistake with so many bands. They just go right ahead and create their first album and try to do it good, but have so many problems because when you really don't have experience and time to reflect upon your own recordings and creativity, you end up having those common mistakes on the debut album, and that's when it gets crushed and people laugh at you and all that stuff. And then the band gets pissed because like, oh, we're not liked so much and people don't just get our ideas. Well, luckily Satan's Fall hasn't done that. They have avoided that pit hole, and as such they're like, haha, we understand what's going on. Well, these guys are no newbies, so I wouldn't expect anything less. So here in the Metal Archives you can pretty much see the discography. It's quite short, but still, given that this is not the only release out there, they have what it takes to introduce a band and then move on to do a first full-length album. You have a demo, EP, single, then compilation of the previous material, more or less, and this Final Day full-length album, which runs roughly some 30 minutes and then some. And in my opinion, it's very much a right call. Not do some 60 minutes epic release and try to create your own masterpiece, because that's just like years away. Don't start using all the bullets, all the ammunition you have there in the boxes, but create some 8-10 track an album and make sure you have the best of the material you have by that time and then release it. And then it's all about having your fingers crossed, doing gigs if possible. Corona hasn't really helped that. And then, you know, doing that good music and moving on, learning from your mistakes and all that stuff. Now, after all these commanding praises, there it is. 8 songs, 36 minutes, and, well, what could be called is melodic heavy metal. This is definitely not the most original in style, or maybe not even less so with the name, but let's be honest about it. This is what the world really needs now. Some good mood heavy metal, you know, which is leaning to kind of a basic foundation of what metal music is all about. You have good melodies, you have good guitar lead solos, you have the kind of riffs which are very much the foundation of the whole metal culture. Then you have skilled enough vocalist, which is not only a one-trick pony, but using different kind of approach with different songs. That is, creating enough variety to make it more interesting. I've said this in a million times before, but especially in heavy metal, a good singer can carry the rest of the burden quite well. And luckily, Satan's Fall is not in need of that, but it surely helps that they have the vocalist who is just not repeating one tone all over through some 45 minutes and that's it. Luckily, what the band has is amount of skilled musicians and the skilled vocalist, and they have quite nice ideas. I wouldn't call them really fresh ideas in the terms of being very original in style, but like I said, it doesn't really matter because doing the kind of a basic stuff, basic melodic heavy metal, which is kind of ageless, timeless, and that's it. You really don't need anything else. The production is solid. It gives enough space and clear, crisp sound to each instrument. The only thing which I kind of hoped would be more present is the bass guitar. But it's not like it's not present. It's just could be way more. Now overall, I would say Final Day is very much a I wouldn't say perfect, but it's a good album for those who like traditional heavy metal, who need no gimmicks, no, guest vocals, female vocalist to be there, as a seasoning, or weird keyboard solo things, or big ass orchestra to support the music. All you need is a bunch of good riffs, good songwriting, good vocalist, and that's it. No bullshit, no extra garments, just back to the basic kind of heavy metal. That's what you have here with Final Day, and I think it's very much worth checking out in case you just happen to be into heavy metal in the first place. Those allergic to genre won't find anything new here, and, well, this is not their cup of tea. Check it out, and thank you for watching the review. You will find the links below for your music listening pleasure.